is just like totally black. So I had to switch to this other laptop, which I know has much worse sound quality. So I do apologize about that. I'm not sure how much I'm going to be talking anyway. It's just one of those days. But today we're going to be spinning hopefully both of these. I don't know if we'll actually get to both, but I'm going to try to do both. One of them is more like yellow and green and blue. And then the other one is more purple and white. So I think I'm going to start with the purple and white one first. I'm really curious if it's going to make pink or light purple, or if it's just going to be stripes. I've made so many art bats, and I still can never guess what it's going to turn out like. I think part of that is because it really does depend on how exactly you spin the bat. In this case, I think I'm just gonna Z-strip it. That's where, oh, Chuck, no. Okay, and here comes her enduring love for Wolf. No, buddy, it's not for you. I know. So disappointed. Anyway, I have a feeling that's going to be a theme. Z-stripping is where you basically just like turn it into one long, almost strip of roving, just by tearing, and you just don't tear all the way to the end. You just start working it the other way. It's not like the neatest method because you do end up with these ends here, and those don't usually spin super well. But it does help with continuous color progression if there is any. I honestly don't remember if there is any in this bat. I made it this afternoon, but I was not necessarily paying that much attention. It's just sort of putting stuff on a board. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't usually Z-strip bats. I guess I just figured I'd go for it today. Chuck. Okay. So this is a little under an ounce. It's about 22 grams. So probably like, I don't know, 0.9 ounces or something like that. Anyway, yeah, here's what we ended up with. Lots of it. And you can see it is purple on one end and then just sort of white throughout. And then there's a little bit of color on the top. I thought I put a lot more purple in this than I did, but it should be fine. Like however it turns out is fine. I just want to use up wool, you know, that's my main goal. So and I'll probably, I don't have any plans for this stuff. They'll probably just turn into squares for my scrap hand spun blanket. I'm just pre-drafting a bit out so that I can easily put it on. This is probably thicker than I can actually spin it as on the e-spinner. The e-spinner does not tolerate thick yarn. This one doesn't anyway, because it's pretty cheap. I imagine there's got to be some chunky yarn e-spinners out there. Just, yeah, this ain't one of them, which is fine. I don't spin a lot of chunky yarn anyway. So, yeah. What do I have this set to? I'm going to set it to the other one. So I'm going to put it on Z this time, which means that when we apply it, it'll be S, which I think is what it usually is. Yeah, that's right. Ooh. Chill. I think that's what happens when it goes too fast and doesn't like what's going on. Hopefully it won't do that again. I don't really like that noise. more twist again. Probably going to be a bit frazzled today. It's been a weird and not very good day. Hence why I'm spinning. Okay, so that's probably enough. Well, it's actually not enough twist. There we go. That's got to be enough twist at this point, right? Okay. I just want to equalize the twist a little bit, just so that it's not like falling off the bottom. That's one of the difficulties of an e-spinner, of this e-spinner. I keep saying, like, I keep talking about e-spinners in general terms on accident. I've only ever used this one, so I only know about this one. Yeah, I'm sure I've said some things that are not actually accurate to all e-spinners, just to my e-spinner, which is not my intention. All right. Now we're getting somewhere. So this is just a blend of random wools. I've got like a random scrap. Well, I've got multiple random scrap bins and boxes and bags, and I basically just grabbed one and made 2 bats out of the stuff in it, as I often do. I'll usually pick a color theme and try to go for a particular texture. Like if I want something to be soft enough to wear, I do keep that in mind. But otherwise, I just sort of go with whatever I feel like. I've made a lot of bats. My blending board was one of the first things I got as a fiber tool. So I've made quite a lot of bats, and I find them to be sort of just an artistic process, I guess, which is interesting because they don't have any purpose on their own. You can't do anything with them other than spin them. And I feel like a lot of the time you can make bats that are just absolutely gorgeous and then they spin up into a fairly plain yarn. Like, I don't know. So the beauty of a bat doesn't necessarily mean anything at all, which is odd. That's not how it is for most things. There is some old Cormo in here that I traded from somebody I met up with, or I guess bought. Usually I trade. In this case, I bought some Cormo. And it was about 5 years. And when you have very lanolin-y wool that sits around for 5 years, it tends to get kind of hard and sticky, at least until you wash it or heat it up. And sometimes you can make it less sticky that way. But yeah, I haven't washed it, so it's very sticky. And I don't know, it's not a bad thing though. I spun a lot of sticky wool because I like trading partial fleeces from friends, and yeah, so I've ended up spinning a fair amount of sticky, like with most things. I feel like I'm not getting enough twist here. It's also turning out stripy. I was hoping, rather naively, now that I'm looking at how the bat actually is constructed, I was hoping I'd get just sort of like a even light purple. I don't know why I thought that. That's probably a sign of the fact that I was more love it. But obviously, oh, hi, Chuck.